Welcome to the team call, everyone. It is November 16th, and I just saw or read that we have 6 weeks left of 2020. 6 weeks. 6 weeks. We want to finish strong. So I asked everyone to, if you had some victory to share, to type it in the chat group. So let's just look at them, you guys. Scroll through. 3 enrollments this weekend from Zoe. Big enrollment with a business builder from Caden. That's awesome. New enrollee who is very, very happy for Cindy. That's great. Sunny woke up to a text. Someone wanting to place an order. Fabulous. Signed up another one, Cindy Palmer. Awesome. And Kendra. Awesome, you guys. Congrats. Keep it going. This is the deal. With 6 weeks left, it's our choice how we finish 2020. And we can choose to finish strong and plant seeds and talk to a lot of people, schedule appointments, share the opportunity, and really set ourselves up for a great start to 2021. Or we can start to get into the, we've got so much going on with the holidays fast approaching and everything else in our lives. So really making it crystal clear what your intentions are, you guys, for the rest of the year. With 6 weeks left, we really want to make sure we're setting ourselves up for success. So I want to just start the call. Number one, thanking John Stankiewicz for getting Fraser Brooks on today at 1 p.m. If you guys were on the call, type in the chat if it was good for you, if you got something out of it, what you thought about it. And John, I don't know I didn't ask John to speak, but if you wouldn't mind unmuting for just a second and let us know what you thought about the call. I thought you did a great job interviewing him.
Thanks, Cindy. I thought it was awesome. It's cool that we get the opportunity to get someone of Fraser's caliber. And like you were saying today, Eric Worre is one of the top generic trainers in the field, and Fraser's quickly getting to that point. If you guys didn't listen, definitely check the replay. And for those of you who don't know who Fraser is, he's built a downline of 300,000 customers and distributors, which is just insane. And my biggest takeaway is one that I love that he talked about, that because things are changing right now with COVID, with the way we're building our businesses, the way we're meeting people. And I think something that people are working on doing is showing up on social media because they're realizing the power of that tool to build their business. And he really talked about how authenticity is everything. And I think it's a common trend. People aren't on there selling the products, selling the ingredients, just constantly selling. The people who are succeeding at the highest level in network marketing are the ones who are showing up as the most authentic version of themselves and are attracting those similar people into their business. So he had made the comment, he's like, if you love horses, like if I'm going to talk to someone, be like, what are you about? Like, what are your things? And someone, it's like, oh, I'm super passionate about horses, but that has nothing to do with this. He's like, no, that's what you need to talk about. That's what you need to start showing up as and bringing through your social media, because you're going to attract those right people into your business. Because it's all about relationships and connections. So I love the authenticity part. Cindy Donaldson messaged me privately about how it's all about the follow-ups.
Yes.
And it really is. And I think another thing is, I've been frustrated lately with the amount of DMs I've been getting from people trying to really just sell me stuff right off the bat with a link, like sign up, check this out, get on this call, let's connect and collaborate. And I think people really need to focus on building the relationship first with those cold people, especially now more than ever. People are realizing like, all right, I got to take my business to social media. And so they're just bombarding people trying to sell them. But you need to take a step back and really focus on the relationships. I think in the beginning, when you have your warm market, it's completely cool to invite people to take a look right away. But once you start getting more into that cold market, you got to focus more on building that relationship and getting that person to trust you and like you before you invite them. So those are a couple of the things that I like the most. And like I said, it was just super cool to have someone of Fraser's caliber and be able to pick his brain.
Yeah, and what a great segue into what I wanted to talk about tonight. One of the things I loved, I agree with both of your takeaways, John, absolutely. And I was private messaging someone that I just had a conversation with this morning who was on the call. And we had just talked about, she has a lot of things that she's really good at, gifted in, loves, passions of hers. And it was like, she wasn't sure how to package that and do Isagenix effectively. And it was basically Fraser telling her it's okay to be authentically you. And that's what really distinguishes you apart from everyone else. And he also used, dogs as an example after horses. And I'm like, your mom with her dogs, like she has met people because of dogs. I remember she fell in love with a dog at a nail salon, took a picture, and that was her way to tag the owner of the dog. And I can't remember if she ended up enrolling the dog owner or not, but that's just a great way to talk to people when you're talking about things that you love and that you're passionate about. And so when he talked about the relationships today, I was like, oh, we got to talk about that tonight. Why is everyone laughing? She enrolled the dog. Oh gosh. Yeah, she probably did. I loved how he said this is a shipping business. And he talks so fast. So for those of you that didn't get it all on the day call, watch the recording. And like John said, if you haven't watched it yet, absolutely. For your personal development time tomorrow, watch the recording. It's already in Team Synergy, uploaded to YouTube. But he talked about how network marketing is a shipping business. And it's all about all these different ships. And I'm going to go over them in slower form today. And we're going to expand on it just a little bit because I've been saying this forever. I've been joking with Cody. Cody's here in the room with me, and he is doing a 20 and 30, and he is whipping through these massive numbers of people, connecting with them every day. And we've been talking about how, we want it to happen so much quicker than it does, especially when you're new and you're excited and you're fired up. And even for those of us that have been around for a while, we want it to happen so much faster, but it does take time to nourish these relationships. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. So I am going to ask for some audience participation. So if there's one of these that you feel you're really good at, that you want to help me talk about a little bit, I'm going to ask you to unmute your mic. And I've got 2 people in the room volunteering to help a little bit here. So the first one he talked about was it all starts with friendship. And so I asked Zoe to share about this because I know she's enrolled a lot of friends. And just, Zoe, if you can, share a little bit about how it all starts with friendships in this business.
So kind of like how Fraser was talking about how like just being authentic, being yourself, like I feel like I've really attracted a lot of people that I want to work with that have very similar interests as me, just by showing up as Zoe Dawn and just by kind of, following the interests and things that make me and just being myself. So I was able to enroll 3 people this weekend, and one of them is somebody that I met who worked at a coffee shop when we all had our Junto retreat for Global Celebration. Her name is Juliet, and she worked at the coffee shop, and we would go to this coffee shop at least 4 times a week, and I would see her there. And she had her last day, and it was like close to when we were leaving too. And I connected with her. I said, oh my gosh, I'd love to stay in touch. Thank you so much for being, the best barista we've had here in Michigan. Let me grab your Instagram and let's stay in touch. And we've talked, over the last just, 3 months. And, she likes to do art and I like to do art. And we've talked about that. And she loves the environment. We've talked about that. And during this 20 and 30 that I'm also doing with Cody, I went ahead and, we had the rapport, we had a friendship built. And I was able to send her an invitation to take a look at Isagenix, and she was open to it because I was somebody that she liked, she knew, and that she trusted at that point because I had spent so much time just being me, just building this friendship. And she ended up, she ended up being super interested in the business, and she's had, an extensive history with, needing nutrition, and it ended up being a really, really great fit for her. And she's not totally open to the business right now. She's got a lot of stuff going on, but she knows, this is something that is a vehicle for her in the future. And so none of that would have happened. One, had I not, been a nice human being and, talked to her while we were in this coffee shop. And 2, had I not, made, that connection to stay in touch with her. So like, Cindy Donaldson said, and Fraser Book said earlier, follow ups. So, I was, still talking with her every week, but I was able to have that connection, get her number, find her on Instagram. She was able to see what I was about. And yeah, so I think that's like a really good example of, it doesn't have to be immediate. You don't have to convert strangers to friends to enrollments, in a week. It can take a little bit more time than sometimes we're used to.
Yeah, and that's a great point. And sometimes it happens quick, guys. I mean, my favorite example of how quick it can happen. I was at an Isogenics conference in Boston. We were snowed in. We had a blizzard and we were stuck there. I think I had to stay an extra 2 days, which we had a blast. So it was like so much fun. But on the ride home, I actually put into practice something Eric Coover had said from stage. And I sat next to someone on the flight. And by the end of the flight, I had her I had an enrollment form filled out with her credit card for a premium pack. It can happen that quickly, but most often, and we want it to, we always go for that, you guys. We definitely love to foster very quick enrollments, but for most people, it does require a little bit of dating before you get married. You know, you've got to work on the friendship piece, and they need to know that you care about them and how is this going to help them. So, you know, Zoe and Cody are doing this 20 and 30. So they can't just reach out to hundreds of people without saying something to the effect of, you know, I want to help you. What are your goals? How can I help you achieve them? If they just talk about, oh, I'm doing a 20 and 30 and I would love to, you know, enroll you and get you on my team, me, they're going to lose everyone. People are going to say no. But when they take time to build these friendships, and then the next step is relationships, and they build relationships, and that takes a while. And sometimes, guys, it takes years. So there's people I have enrolled in the last year that I have been talking to, building a friendship with, building a relationship for years, and they're finally ready. So we always want to have people that we're talking to. Some will enroll on an airplane just like that. Other people, once you build that friendship, they're going to be ready. Other people want a deeper, more meaningful relationship from you, and it's going to take a little bit longer. So that nurturing of the relationship piece is so huge. Once you start getting people enrolled, the next ship is called entrepreneurship. So it's really figuring out who you are enrolling that's got a little bit of that entrepreneurial spirit in them. And I'd love for one of our leaders to share on this. Does anyone want to talk about this? I see several of our mastermind people on. Would anyone like to speak to that next level of entrepreneurship, finding those business builders, and how do we go about that? Lori, yes, please.
Well, I can't say that I'm the most amazing business builder recruiter in the world, but what has recently helped me most is truly showing them the full presentation of the products and the opportunity before I talk to them. And then when I get on the phone, my question isn't just what are your health goals? I just say what changes would give you the biggest breakthrough right now that you're interested in in your life, leaving it more open and not assuming. And just last Friday, she completely surprised me and said, well, yeah, I have a few sticky pounds, but for sure the money. And I wasn't, I was like, wow, you know, it's like, and honestly, I shared this with my team. It was one of the, I'll have to tell you later, guys, what happened. I never ever reschedule a call, but my day was that insane. And it crossed my mind, and just don't do it. Because what if that call wouldn't have happened again? So anyway, she works from home, and she makes, this is the other thing that is a big eye opener. She makes she goes, well, I make good money and now I'm working from home, but I've been doing this for 21 years and I like it, or they don't have to hate where they're at. Mm-hmm. She said, I like it, or I wouldn't still be here, but that doesn't mean there isn't more out there for me. So those are the words I've learned over these years, is someone who says, but there's more. Mm-hmm. I want more, instead of, well, I need the money so bad.
Right.
So,
love that.
So yeah, that was, and had I not shown her, the new presentation really shows a lot. And that's what she said, can you send me more of what, and then to her questions were what do your days look like? What do you do? How do you fill your days? And things like, and those of you who want to build a business, those are the exciting conversations to have rather than talking about how to cleanse.
Yeah. I'm going to correct one thing you said. Is that okay? In front of everyone? Sure. Yes. How many executives have you created?
8, I think.
Okay, so you guys, she knows what she's doing when it comes to creating leaders and finding entrepreneurs and getting them to take that next step. So, Lori, you're an amazing leader. So I just wanted to, correct that in front of everyone for you. You didn't have to worry. You think I'd ever embarrass you? Never, never. All right. But what you said made me want to ask Cynthia Palmer, would you unmute? Because I saw you do a live video in Eric Worre's GoPro, and you just spoke to what Lori said. Would you mind just sharing a little bit of your story that you shared? Happy in your job. You've been there for a long time, but what got you thinking about the business with Isagenix? Because this is perfect for what we're talking about.
Kind of don't remember what I said, but okay.
It was just sharing your story. You just were sharing,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Your about your job, and then, what got you to look at the business. And I loved how you said it was kind of a 5-year plan. So if you just wouldn't mind sharing that real quick,
Yeah.
I would love that.
Okay. So yes, I do love my job. I'm a cardiovascular sonographer since 1989. And I love the patients. I love helping them. But things are changing, and I had given this 5 years to get to know the business and everything, but it may go down to 3, maybe 2 soon. And so, but that all happened because of, number one, because of what's going on at work, and because I lost my husband, and things are changing there too. So that's pretty much, is that what you were talking about, Cindy?
Yeah, so that was your story. And then, what got you to decide to look at this as a business opportunity? Did you watch Sierra and then just say, with things changing, I'm looking for another opportunity? Did she ask you? How did that come about?
Actually, I watched her take the products and stuff, and then I started taking the products, and I wanted to continue to help people, even if I didn't work where I work right now. And so I knew I could do that later on down the line. But then I thought, well, I want to do the traveling, and I just want to be me and do what I want to do when I want to do it, and not have somebody tell me, okay, now I got to work weekends, now I got to do what they want me to do. And even help my patients, this is another way I can still help.
Yeah, I love that. And I love the fact that, you said in the video, and that's why I asked you to unmute, that you love what you do, but you still had room for this in your life. And I think sometimes we look at people and we think, everybody wants to do this full time like we do. And not everybody does. There's a lot of people that love their work. And then we find people that really don't love their work, and they want this to be their plan A, not their plan B. So really the way to do this and to figure it out is asking questions. You guys have heard me say a million times, become a professional question asker. Ask the questions to find out what your people, what your friends that you're building your relationship with are looking for, so you know how to help them. So with Cynthia, she's just looking for, her plan B to maybe become her plan A in the next 2 to 5 years, as quickly as it can possibly happen for her. So that's so awesome. Thank you so much for sharing, Cynthia. All right, the next ship is partnership. So once we figure out that someone is interested in the business, then they become our partner and we start to run with them. Do I have anybody that would be willing to speak to that? Finding a runner. How about, would Tiffany or Susan be willing to share? Susan's looking down. Don't ask me.
I'll share.
Yeah.
So just about, you want me to say like what you do to partner with somebody?
Yeah, like when you get to that next level, and now you've got someone that's expressed some interest in the business, and now you're like pretty fired up because you've got someone that you might want to run with, and you just created an executive in Helena. So share with everybody, how does that look? How did you do that?
So, I mean, I am willing to run with anybody that wants to run with me. And I always say that I'll give 150% if they're willing to give 100%. I'm always going to give more, but it's always that tennis match too. So if they don't hit the ball back, I'm also not going to keep hitting the ball back. I mean, there has to be a give and take. So, when they're willing to run, I step through like, okay, who do you have on your list? Let's make a list of everybody that's in all your different networks and who's the most influential in that network. Like who's the most influential from your church? Who's the most influential from this? You're looking for your board of directors. Who do you want to work with? Especially when you're starting out, but even those of us that are seasoned, we're always looking to make sure that we have a fresh board of directors if maybe some of them are getting a little stale. I mean, you know, just let's face it. So, so making sure that we are looking for those people. So really helping them develop their list. And I also am going into their friends and friending their friends, you know, anybody that is going in there, because I want to make sure that if they're in HHP, that they're seeing my posts and, for instance, Helena's posts, making sure that they have that support. And I'm also reaching out to them in a three-way message and introducing myself, saying, you know, you have a great support from Helena, but if you need anything else, I'm here as well. So just making sure that I am working in the network. I think that's what a lot of people are afraid to do, is dig down deep. And remember, this is just about relationships, and this is just building friends. So it's not weird. It's, I mean, if anything, they feel like, oh my gosh, I have more than just Helena to work with. So it's always a great thing to do that, and just really running with them. And Helena and I probably text daily. And so, I mean, I'm just giving an example. I mean, I also text obviously with anybody else that is running. And today, you know, for instance, with another one of my new leaders, I was giving her examples of what to post. She was kind of stuck, and I was just giving her ideas. I said, don't necessarily post just this, but here's some examples of what you could do that just create curiosity. So I'm working with them just like I would be doing it myself, but yet teaching them and not doing it for them. I'm partnering with them. I never do it for them. I'm teaching them just like any of us that are moms or dads. You don't give them everything. You teach them how to do it. Otherwise, they're going to depend on you. So yeah, just, I mean, it's so much fun too. I will tell you, it's so much more fun than working my own business. I'd much rather do that.
Yeah. And when you find people that really do want to partner with you, you know, basically what I just heard you say is you empower them. We don't enable them, we empower them. And you do a beautiful job of that, Tiffany. And you're really, it's just showing up in your business big time. And I'm so thrilled for you and so happy for you. And that's what we want to do, guys. We want to run at their pace. We have some people that are going to run, and they're going to be so excited, and they're going to want to do this fast. And that's awesome. We'll run at their pace. But then we're going to have people that are jogging, and we're going to want to run at their pace. We don't want to set expectations on them that are outlandish, that they're not going to be able to meet, because it will not only disappoint them, it will disappoint you too. And our walkers are like what PK Smith always refers to as our happy customers. We need happy customers, you guys. We want to have people that love the products, and eventually they might become, I always use the example of Sarah Farnsworth. She was a happy customer. She was very happy. She just started sharing with people because she loved the products. And the next thing you know, she starts building her business and building her business to the point where she's now a six-figure income earner on our team. And that happened because I walked with her when she was ready to go a little faster. I jogged with her when she was ready to go a little faster. We ran together. So that's what being a good partner is. All right, next up is mentorship. Thank you, Tiffany. Next up is mentorship. And I asked Cody to share on this one because he has been such a good, as another PK Smith word, he's been such a great mentee. And he's been very incredibly coachable. And I think that's what's led to so much of his success. And now he's becoming a mentor to his team. So Cody, would you mind sharing a little bit about that journey for you?
Yeah, sure. I think in terms of when thinking about mentorship, just think about the last 20 minutes on this call. Just heard incredible words from Tiffany, Lori, Cynthia, Zoe, everybody that gets to speak and that we get to hear from. Is unremarkable mentorship. There's nowhere else in the world, like, people in the world pay thousands of dollars to get the access that we do every day. People wait decades to meet the people that we get to hang out with and chat with and work with every day. It's unbelievable. So thank you all for your words and your mentorship. Also to touch on what Zoe said and and Cindy too, with relationships and building friendships, it's all about timing. And the running thing with me is about how I want to go fast, and how I find it unbelievable that people have to think about this business, wait to take action for a week or a month. I'm like, what are you talking about? You don't want to, you're still thinking about the business. I told you a whole week ago. And so that's been something that I've learned to grow in that area the most, is in patience and becoming a crock-pot leader and meeting people where they are. And you can see the example of that last week in terms of talking about timing. It's always comes down to timing for people. I'm always in a rush with people, like, let's go, let's hurry up. We have a lot of work to do. But for me, it took me 4 to 5 months of Tyler building a relationship with me for me to even enroll. 4 to 5 months of going back and forth, which blows my mind. I don't know why I ever waited that long. It was ridiculous. I was a lizard. But just
I was
last
just going
week,
to ask you how long it was, because I remember Tyler saying he saw so much in you, he figured it would be a few years, but he was willing to put in that time. And you came around way faster than he thought.
That's crazy. That's a really good perspective. And I just saw that last week. I enrolled a guy named Kyle that I'd been working on for almost a year, really building a relationship with, that I knew from home. And it was just the right timing. I met with him for lunch, and just had lost his, I don't know if Kyle's on tonight, Kyle Milroy, but it was just the right timing for him. And he was just ready to get started and really needs us at this time after almost a year. And then I got my buddy Casey started. Casey's actually on this call. So congrats to him. His package hasn't even come in yet. But for him, I literally reached out last week, and boom, it was the right time. He's ready for a transformation of his whole life. He's ready for a change, and he's ready to go. So that was a huge teller of me, seeing that all in 1 week, last week, different times. But yeah, I mean, mentorship is really amazing. And I think the problem with how we're raised and how we're raised up in learning and being a student and learning from people is that we think that we arrive. Like, we have these institutions like primary school, we go through high school, and then we go to college, and then when we graduate from a university, we've arrived. And now we learn, and then we stop learning, and we stop growing, and we oftentimes don't have those mentorships anymore. Like when we look up to parents, when we look up to teachers, professors, sports coaches. Did anybody have a coach, like a sports coach or dance teacher or whatever, that they're really close to? Karate. There you go. I saw you, Sierra. There's someone you're really close to. They're like your life person, like a role model and a figure for you. That's what we get to have. Like the Walters, Zoe, our whole family of Synergy, and even outside of that, Jim Rohn, Tony Robbins, whoever, Ed Milet, whoever it is you listen to and look up to, we get to have that relationship, especially within our teams, is really, really intimate and super unique. There's no other industry where you can do this. There's no other job that I know of on this earth. There's nothing else out there where you can have such remarkable mentorship, free life coaching, free health coaching. I know people that spend $500 a month just for someone to write them a plan to eat chicken, broccoli, and rice every day. How many vitamins do you think they get? They don't even get products. It's unbelievable. And life coaching, people pay $5,000 to just get to watch Tony Robbins on stage, which he's great. Don't get me wrong. I can't wait to do Date with Destiny someday. But we get to listen to Cindy Walter all the time. We got John Stank and the podcast. I mean, we get all this stuff for free. It's so crazy. And so I know I'm excited because I will never arrive. I will be 90 years old talking on some huge stage, but I will still be learning from John Maxwell's teachings. I will still be reading the Bible and trying to learn more from Jesus and his teachings. I will never arrive. And I think also the other way too, now learning how to become a mentor is a really, really interesting experience, because I oftentimes don't qualify myself. I say, well, I haven't done this. I'm not a 6-figure income earner. I'm not a 7-figure income earner. So how can I lead these people? How do I have credibility to do that? So just so that no matter where you are influential. You're influencing somebody, whether you like it or not. So I know for me, I have a lot of control over my environment. And there's only 3 types of people that I spend my time with. And those 3 types of people would be my mentors. So the people that have what I want. the people that have what I want, I try to spend the most time with and squeeze all the juice out of them. I whenever, you know, the Walters are in town, I will drive, I will walk, I will bike, whatever I have to do to get to the hotel room and hang out with them and be around the energy, whatever I can do. Whenever I'm not with them, I got MLM Nation in my ears. I got Simon Chain in my ears because he has a lot of things that I want. So the first group of people I spend my time with for mentorship is my mentors, the people that have what I want. Number two is the people who are running alongside with me. So like Michael's right here, like we're running together. Anybody even on different teams, you know, maybe John, whoever else, my friends that are running with me, you know, maybe William, any other local guys or people that I can talk to. So the people that are running with me may be around the same level as me in terms of maybe my age, my business, my personal growth. And then number three, the third group is going to be the people who now want what I have, that are my mentees and I'm their mentor. So I think those are the three groups of people. I know a lot of you have families, you have jobs, you have obligations, so you can't completely control those people in those three groups. But that's just been what's worked best for me in the past 14 to 16 months, is spending every second possible with my mentors, the people who have what I want. Number two, the people who are running alongside me, my peers in this business and in personal development in this whole journey. And then number three, my mentees, only the ones who have what I want. Or have what I want now. So,
Want what you have.
or have what I want.
Want what
Who
you
want
have.
what I have now. So, yeah,
That's
there
awesome.
you go.
That's awesome. And what is so cool about that is we always need a mentor. I mean, if you guys think I don't need a mentor, you're crazy. If you don't think I need coaching, you're crazy. I don't know it all. I still struggle with insecurities just like everyone else. I still have, you know, things I need to work on and fix and get better at. So we never get to a point where we've arrived and we don't need mentorship. But that doesn't mean we can't be a great mentor for someone else, even if you're new. Even if you're new and you're like, gosh, do I have what it takes? Could I possibly mentor someone else? Absolutely, you can. Absolutely. If you're willing to learn the skills, if you're willing to ask questions and listen to what people say, if you really want to help people, you can absolutely mentor them. All right. Last one before we wrap it up is leadership. And I have someone I'd love to talk about leadership. We'll see if she unmutes and shares. And if not, I'll take it myself. She must not want to talk tonight for some reason. No? All right.
What do you want me to share?
Well, I would say you've learned a few things about leadership. You actually went with me to John Maxwell's school and were part of the Power of Five networking book, all on leadership from John Maxwell himself. So let's talk about, you know, the next level in this is becoming a leader. And I think so many people fear leadership. They don't think they're ready to lead people, but I think it was Eric Worre. What does he say? You're a leader once you enroll 5 people or 10 people. You're a super enroller and you're a leader. So speak to that, Susan. You've learned an awful lot through all the growth and personal development you've done and have become a great leader yourself. You know, speak to that for the new people and the importance of really growing and becoming a leader.
Okay, well, I'm going to kind of make leadership really simple. I think that we don't think of ourselves as leaders, but honestly, I remember way back when I was with a different company and I had enrolled a bunch of people and I felt obligated to stay with that company much longer than I wanted to, because I think when you become a leader, it's kind of like, say, becoming a parent. You have an obligation. So I'm really hesitant. I know we talk a lot of times about getting people to consultant and getting their 2 people. I'll only do that if they're enrolling like their mom and their sister or their, dog or whatever. I'm kidding. But, I don't want people to be in a leadership role if they're not going to take it seriously, because I think it's important. Because like I say, when I was with the company prior to Isagenix, the hardest thing for me was walking away, and my heart wasn't there anymore. But I brought these people in, and I like it was my job to lead them. So I think it's important when you're here to take leadership seriously. And if you think about being a leader, I think about just envision if you're, I just finished, I'm exhausted right now. So Cindy's totally busting on me, but I literally hiked for, I don't know, 20 something hours and did 53 miles. And I walked from Pennsylvania to West Virginia this weekend. And I want you, and so I use this analogy, not just because I did that, but like I use it often. So imagine if you're walking into like the woods and it's dark and it's scary and there's really not a marked trail. A leader just goes forward with confidence. And then if you do that, people will follow you. So you guys don't have to know everything. You just have to know that you are going to be competent and be a leader. You're going to learn as you go. I mean, think about anybody that's on here that's a parent, that's been a parent for the first time. We had no training, none at all, but we went forward with confidence. I mean, we knew we were going to take care of these children. And I look at that like as a leader with our team, we don't have to know everything. It's not that important that we know all the details. It's just that we're committed enough to stay with the process and continue and learn. And, you know, that also gives people confidence. When you're a leader, it shows them that, hey, I can be a leader and go forward. But the most important thing is being, is just being confident that you're going to stay with the process. We're going to learn as we go. We don't know it all. Nobody does. I'm a different leader today. I'm just wondering why John Stankiewicz's screensaver is Cindy Walter doing a yoga pose. Like I know I'm tired right now, but I'm seeing things.
I saw that too.
See.
He used my line for his Fraser Brooks call today, so he must have not logged out and logged back in.
That is so funny. I'm sorry. Okay,
I saw that too.
Back on the bunny trail, I think it's important when we decide that we're going to become a leader, that we know that we're not going to know it all, and it doesn't matter. But what we do have to know is that we are going to stay committed to the process, because if you've had a leader on your team, if you've been around for a while, you may see a leader that has really grown, and then maybe they step away for some reason. I'm telling you, when you're a leader, people are going to follow you, whether you're going up the mountain or you're going off the cliff. They're going to follow you no matter what. So leadership is about staying the path, and that is what is important. So I know that we have happy customers, and that we can easily grow consultants by getting, like I said, 2 people. But the people that I like to mentor to lead, to really become executives and really lead, those people, I just want to make sure they're committed. They're just going to be committed. They don't have to be perfect. They don't have to know it all, but they just have to say, I'm going to learn as I go. But we need to know, people need to know that they're going, when they follow us, we're not going to take them off the cliff. We're going to do our best to lead them, you know, up the mountain or wherever it may be. So I'm just off a hiking trip, so I have a million analogies.
Oh, good. Well, I'm glad you volunteered to share tonight.
Oh, I did volunteer. Absolutely.
I knew you'd have something wonderful to say coming off of all of your hiking, and Susan's spot on. And you know, we'll wrap it up here in a couple of minutes. Leadership is so important to growing a successful business with Isagenix, and I have been blessed to be mentored by some amazing leaders. And guys, all it takes is for you to find the leaders you most resonate with. It may not be me. I mean, it may be, so many of you guys are huge Emily Vavra fans, Susan Sly fans. It doesn't matter. Zach Slobin fans. Find leaders that have what you want, like Cody said, and emulate what they're doing. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. But one of the best things I heard tonight, I'm going to go back to Cynthia Palmer. You know, when I heard her say on her live that she did for Eric Worre and his group, she said, I'm committing to 5 years. That's a brand new person saying, you know, I'm not going to just try this for a month and see how it goes. I'm committing to learning the skills, learning this business, understanding the compensation plan, figuring out how to get people their products for free, figuring this out for 5 years. And if you guys have heard Susan Slide train, she did the same thing when she got started, and she said 10 years. And most people, they don't want to commit past 30 days. So when you find someone that is willing to say something like that, I'm going to commit to this for 5 years. I want to learn this. Cynthia, you did my heart so beautiful. When I saw that, I was like, oh, she calls me her sister from another mister. I'm like, you go, my sister. I was so proud of you. And that's what I want us all to they're all laughing here. Can you hear them? They think I'm funny. But that's how I want us all to thank you guys. Let's commit to this. Let's commit to all of these ships so that we can end on championship and have a championship team. And I really feel like we do here. This is definitely a championship team. I'm so grateful for every one of you that show up every single week on these team calls. You don't know who the speakers are, what the topics are, and you show up anyway, and hopefully you get some kind of a golden nugget out of every call. You're mentored by amazing leaders on our own team. You're mentored by other top leaders in the company. And then we also bring in great guest speakers. So next week, Cody actually got Simon Chan for us for next Monday night. So make sure you come to that call and be ready. That's going to be an amazing call. So you guys will absolutely love that. But to have a championship team, we've got to figure out all of these ships, this shipping business. And also keep in mind, he said this, some people will jump ship. And I know some of you that are top leaders on the team, I've had people that have jumped ship. And it isn't great when that happens. And some of them want to get back on the ship because they know it's going to be a rocket ship and they want to see. Others, grass is greener and they find something else they want to do. And all we can do is bless and release that and find someone else that we can build a friendship with, build a relationship with, and go through this whole process with. You're going to face hardship. But if you really are committed, like Susan just shared, great way to cap this, you know, put the perfect bow on this and wrap it up for the night. If you commit to this and you learn the skills that are necessary and you listen to people, ask questions, listen to what they say, and serve. John Maxwell, he is the utmost, a leading authority on leadership and serving other people. Your business will grow. And for some of you, it'll grow fast. Some of you, it'll take a little longer. People think I'm an overnight success with Isagenix, which cracks me up. I had 20 years experience before I started with Isagenix, you guys. And it took me, Cody and I had this conversation today, it took me 20 years to develop the skills that I could be a good leader. And be a present leader for my team. It wasn't an overnight thing for me. It took a long, long time. But you guys, it's going to take a lot less time because you have a great company to partner with. You have great leaders to help you, to lead the way. We want you to learn from our mistakes so that your learning curve is much shorter than ours. So I hope you guys found this call helpful. If you missed the Fraser Brooks call, you definitely want to hop on that and watch that tomorrow. But love you guys. And thank you everybody who shared tonight, voluntarily or not. Love you guys.